It's time for Real Talk with Brian and Dan, the weekly talk radio show dedicated to discussing important real estate topics, plus insight into the local community. With a combined experience of over 50 years as local real estate brokers from the East Side Real Estate Team at Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. Here's your hosts, Brian Levitt and Dan Edwards.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. The training wheels are off. It is July 10th, 2019, and you're joining us live today. And listen, if you'd like to listen to this episode and past episodes, you can find us anywhere where podcasts are found. So anywhere like Tuned In and Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. Well, listen, we have another great show today, a fantastic show, and I'm excited to have our two guests in. Roman, how do you say your last name again? Polaykov, and Johathan Murphy of Toyota of Bellevue. Aaron Wood with Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue, and some great, great content. But before we get to these fine guests, it's time for some Real Talk.
Last week, we talked about young first-time buyers. Today, we're going to talk about how having a professional on your side in real estate can make all the difference. In today's fast-paced world where answers are a Google search away, there are some who make wonder what the benefits of hiring a real estate professional to help them in their home search are. Truth is, the addition of more information often causes more confusion. Now more than ever, you need an expert on your side who is going to guide you toward your dreams and not let anything get in the way of achieving them.
Now, Brian, you've been helping all kinds of folks for many years now, right?
That's right.
And there's a difference between an agent that shows up, opens a door, and one that actually solves problems. Wouldn't you agree?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is what would you say is the true test of where somebody is actually looking out for you as a consumer versus just a paycheck?
Well, I think, first and foremost, having their interest first and foremost. Fiduciary. Yeah. Under Washington law, we're not obligated to a fiduciary relationship, but and fiduciary, for those who don't understand, fancy. Fiduciary means acting in a way that is in the other person's best interest, as if it were your own. I mean, absolute best interest, putting their interest first. And I think that's something that I appreciate about working with you, as you and I are both committed to client interest always coming first.
Right. It really is about a long-term relationship, being able to serve the clients in a situation where there's a lot of emotion. Mm-hmm. And as an agent, you can really help guide the consumer through that.
Right.
You can also throw fuel on a fire, which has happened to us when there's other agents involved, unfortunately, not recognizing that they have to take their emotions out of it and help guide their client through. I had a story that I won't share with you.
Yeah, I think you did.
We talked to Brian and I talked about it.
I think that third-party separation, to be able to objectively walk through, so that there is a non-emotional, and buying your home, it's very personal, very emotional. So the objective view to look at it, that way is huge. And I think another thing that's often overlooked is the local experience, the boots on the ground experience that I find time after time. I'm able to assist my clients because of the local knowledge that I'll save people from transactions where, it sounds funny, but I'm helping people not buy a home in that situation. Right. But it's the right move, and that's putting client interest first.
And the key to that, too, is, on average, an individual or a family is going to buy maybe 4 homes in their lifetime.
Yeah, 4 or 5 typically.
Right?
Yep.
We did that last month, right? Mm-hmm. So we did that in an individual basis. So we're seeing these things come up, and it's about, my favorite thing to do is when a buyer or a seller says, hey, I'm going to interview several agents.
Right.
That's my favorite thing to do. Why? Because I know I have to show up with my best game. And also, too, I'm not taking that business for granted. Right. I'm knowing that when I show up to serve that client, it goes back to your fiduciary, right? I'm showing up as a representative. And it's really an honor, actually, to have them say, I pick you.
One of my favorite stories is a client who was interviewing 5, and he first kind of screened a whole group. And he calls me and says, "Okay, Brian, you're in the beauty contest." And it's like,
uh-oh.
Yeah,
no, I'm just joking.
Game's on, and I got the transaction. But I really thought that was an interesting way of putting it, is in the beauty contest, put your best foot forward.
So you made it past the first round.
Yeah.
And then did you win?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
I got a call. We're heading out for a little weekend, and he calls me and says, "Okay, final question. What are you going to do for me?" And they had what I considered a relatively small problem that I had a solution to, And he called me, and then he called the other broker.
Mm-hmm.
The other broker used an expletive with him.
Oh.
He called me back. That kind of settled it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you're carrying yourself.
Yeah, just like, I'll work with you. I want your business.
Awesome.
So
So here's the funny thing. According to some statistics by the National Association of Realtors, there's about 230 possible steps that have to take place during any successful transaction. So having somebody that is really, a first-time home buyer, or one of my favorites, the first-time home seller, having them be in a position of understanding that those 230 steps have been gone through
right.
on a regular basis. And I found that oftentimes when people do this for a long time, they sometimes get complacent,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to kind of refresh and recharge and provide your clients with a fresh look at it, it's really important. And to
Right.
have somebody that is competing for your business, they're not doing it, they're not taking it for granted.
Right. I think something too is it's not just the skill set. You mentioned people typically 4 or 5 homes in their lifetime. Between you and I, we've done thousands,
Right.
and we do it every single day. So for us to walk someone through is what we do. I mean, one of the things I firmly believe is there's no such thing as a dumb question. Walk people through the entire process. And it's not just the experience we've gained, but the systems that we've built and put into place. So every one of those steps is done and done right. And so that's checklist driven, that's systems driven to deliver a consistently excellent product time and time again.
So one of the the main reason why I wanted to have this show here on the radio with our listeners, right, is the amount of expertise that you have in the 38 years that you've been selling real estate. It's important to get that out.
Right.
So we want to, challenge our listeners out there, friends, colleagues, to give us a call with your questions.
Right.
So at the end of this segment, we have time, and our phone to call in is 425-373-5527. That's 425-373-5527. I'd love for the listeners to challenge us with some tough questions on real estate. And I don't know if you can think of a particular instance where you solved a problem for a client that shows how the experience matters for representation.
Sure. I mean, an example is dealing in East King County. We deal with rural properties frequently. And I had a client they had found a home online, interested in making an offer. And the first words I said is, we need to very carefully have the well water, so properties on a well, rural property, analyzed, because there's likely going to be arsenic. And like, what? Well, I know that area. I know where those wells are going to have problems because I've been selling in the area for so long.
Yeah.
Well, they did the test. Sure enough, there's arsenic. Hard pass. I mean, who wants arsenic in their drinking water? And there's filter systems. There's things you can do, but still.
Plus, you get arsenic from apple cores, right? I mean, no.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to research that.
Apple seeds, they have arsenic in them. Yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
fun fact.
The other thing I was going to say is having the wisdom that if we don't know an answer, we don't just wing it. We do the research necessary to deliver the right information, the right answer.
Well, I have a good success story too.
Yeah.
So my client, we had a property that was almost identical to another property in the same neighborhood in Tallis, one we've talked about here on the show recently. And that property was on the market. The competing property was on the market about 40 days before we hit the market. I knew we had to compete, and so did the seller. So we made sure we did the full, program, which is staging, cleaning the windows, cleaning up any issues that might have come up on inspection, the whole thing, what we call our premier listing program.
Right.
Hit the market, and we had some market time because right now, just listeners out there, if you looking at the market and you're thinking like homes are sticking around, it's normal. 30 days plus, that's normal. Yeah. It was abnormal to sell a home in 2 days.
Right.
So we were on the market about 30, 35 days. We ended up getting an offer. The other house did not get an offer. We ended up even closing. The other house went into contract, fell out of contract. Mm-hmm. So now I'd love to, break my arm patting myself on the back. I know we did a great job for our client. We ended up selling when the other one didn't.
Right. And that's through doing all those steps right up front. Prior proper planning prevents poor performance.
What now? Say that again.
Yeah. Prior proper planning prevents poor performance.
Nice.
I dropped one word that's commonly used in that phrase. But doing the work ahead of time, that's the thing about a successful listing, is laying out the plan ahead of time. Planning the work, working the plan is the basics.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't be here today if there wasn't something to representation. Right. If people believe they can get what they wanted, what they needed out of the internet, we would be done. We'd be out of business. Yeah. And it just has to do with that experience, that wisdom, and then also understanding the consumer situation.
Right. And a whole other aspect is being a skilled negotiator that you learn from doing this thousands of times, literally. And every transaction is different. So taking the time to listen to people's needs, when I'm representing a buyer, doing research on the seller, looking for what they really want.
Sure.
I think the assumption is always money. It's not.
Right.
Sellers want the best price for their home, but I'm finding so often timing can be even more important
Time
than
is money.
Right.
Yep.
And so really paying attention to the details to negotiate for what our clients truly want to deliver that.
Awesome. Well, hey, I alluded to it. We are now off the training wheels. We are actually live today, so you're listening live. And if you're listening live, you can ask us your questions. Just call 425-373-5527. And coming up, we have got a great couple of guys here in the office in the studio. Yep, today. So after this break, we'll be hearing from Roman and Mr. Murph from Michael's Toyota of Bellevue. Please come on back.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact: homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time home buyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Feeling disorganized? Do you have trouble finding things in your home or feel overwhelmed when you open a drawer in the kitchen? Does your house add unnecessary stress to your already busy life? If the answer is yes to any of these questions, the professional organizers from Born to Organize would love to help. Born to Organize specializes in general home organizing, downsizing, home sale preparation, and move-in assistance. Unlike other organizing businesses, we also have a full-time licensed carpenter to assist with larger system installations and handyman projects. In as little as one visit, Born to Organize can help eliminate stress and anxiety in your life by utilizing an individualized approach with each client that includes decluttering and creation of simple systems within your home. Born to Organize serves Snohomish County, King County, and is available to travel throughout the United States on a per-project basis. Jamie Bourne and her team of organizers are simplification experts and love nothing more than making a house feel like a home. Please visit our website at BOURNE2ORGANIZE.com. You can also call us at 650-274-4308 or email Jamie at bourne2organize@gmail.com.
There's a reason they invented the internet. It's called 1150kknw.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 AM KKNW.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. Our first guests today are Roman Polaykov and Johathan Murphy from Michael's of Toyota in Bellevue. Roman was originally born in Russia, but moved to America when he was a little kid. How old?
9 years old.
9 years old. He lived in D.C. for most of his life, but moved to sunny Seattle 4 years ago and has loved it ever since. He, can't turn my page, sorry. He worked many jobs, but loves sales and customer interaction. He also worked in real estate for a little bit, but got a calling to get back into the car business, which is how we met Johathan Murphy and Michael's Toyota of Bellevue. An organization that Roman described, a 43-year-old organization that Roman has described as client first and extremely passionate about the community, the neighborhood. And I got to say, I've bought several cars from Michael's Toyota of Bellevue, and I've always enjoyed the experience and the quality of the cars. I only own Toyotas. So this is a bit of a shameless plug on my part. My son's got a Corolla. My daughter has the Camry. My wife has a Highlander, and I have the FJ. So it's straight up.
We've got an 89 FJ, and the kids are fighting over it.
89
FJ.
Yeah,
280,000 going strong.
The old school. The OG. Yeah. Hey, Roman, Murph, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's start out. Yeah, go ahead.
Murph, tell us a bit about what you do outside of work. You mentioned you like to go crabbing. Tell us about yourself.
Well, from Oklahoma, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
A lot of crabbing there?
No, largemouth bass fishing. Transferred up here just for the crab.
Oh, you're kidding. That's right.
No, I just made a weird phone call one night back in 1998, and over the telephone, Michael's hired me, and I moved up here, and I love it.
Wow.
From my house in Lake Stevens, you can drive 30 minutes to the ocean, 2 hours over to Yakima and the rivers, and just have a great old time. Love it.
How about you, Roman? When you're not working?
When I'm not working, I got a little baby girl. She's 2 years old, so, we have a lot of fun doing that. Something new I picked up from Murph, actually. We went crabbing together the other day. That was a hoot and holler.
So that's over in Everett, right?
Yeah, Everett, Hat Island.
Okay, so you take a little tiny boat out, or you got the big one?
Big one.
Okay,
Big one.
awesome.
Big well crab.
Awesome. So this is a show about real estate. So we kind of go back in the Wayback Machine. So this is going to be kind of interesting. So the house that you grew up in, maybe it's Russia, maybe it's D.C., Roman. Could you share with us like a fond memory, like looking back, they were like, man, I remember this. This was amazing.
So I was, what makes me think of my dacha in Russia, it's, a little kind of a house, little shack. It had 2-bedroom. It was more of the outside. We had a garden. We had a banya out back. We had, had some chickens, had some pigs and things like that. So I'm kind of a farmer at heart. So I live out in Lake Stevens right now, and I kind of brought that back with me. I have some
So you have chickens? Yeah.
I have ducks.
Ducks.
I have some ducks right now.
Nice.
They're actually laid a couple of eggs, so I'll probably have some little ducklings soon enough. Got some fruit, peaches, huckleberries, blackberries, all types of cool stuff.
Nice. So farming, you're bringing it here.
Yes.
To your home. How about you, Murph? Going to your Oklahoma days, right? Are you a Sooner fan or what?
Oklahoma Sooners all
Okay,
the way.
all right.
Absolutely. Best college football game ever. Team.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Arguably. All right.
Arguably. Yeah. But no, it's a great place out here. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and we crossed paths here recently with you being at Toyota, and enjoyed that. And a lot of the stuff I do outside is just hang out, go fishing, hang out, enjoy the outdoors. Big outdoorsy guy. But as far as home, the question you had earlier,
Right.
I just remember home being a fun place, a place where all the family got together on the holidays and spent time together. And I think those are the most cherished memories because, life is so fast-paced as we know it. But
Absolutely.
the holidays, being in the home, being together as a family, that family unity, it's
Was
just
there
always special.
You guys like to cook together? Is there a special kind of food?
A lot of cooking down in the South. A lot
Yeah.
of barbecue chicken, a lot of barbecue, ribs, brisket, everything.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Murph, how did you meet Dan?
Dan come into the dealership here recently, just I guess looking to add to the fleet of Toyotas, and, kicking around a couple of ideas on
Yes,
a
sir.
car that he'd like to get, and we just spent a little bit of time talking about it, and it was kind of funny. It was quite interesting to meet him. I know he was there to talk about a car deal, but the whole time we spent most of our time talking about us and life and communicating and the cars and what's important to him, and it was just I think it's kind of a friendship that started off in the right direction.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have to say, like for me, when it comes to buying a car, there's a whole idea around, well, you're going to walk in there, it's going to be kind of funky, and anybody that's been to Michael's Toyota of Bellevue, it's very comfortable. It's a very comfortable place where you can go, kind of sort through the stuff. So let's get down to tax because essentially it comes down to how do you guys do it? How do you sell the cars, Roman?
Sales style.
Roman, yeah. What's the whole philosophy there?
Well, there's definitely, an energy in the air. We all have it. Starts from, the sales guy that goes all the way to, the top of their organization, Eric Paulson. Everyone's super passionate about what we do. Our job is to kind of get all the information possible to the client and then have them make an informed decision, whether they make it, then and there or down the line. We spoke about it earlier about you guys have a fiduciary duty to your clients.
Yeah.
We feel the same way. So,
What
do you think?
is your most important, like when you think about, you're putting people in your car, right? The routine is, hey, let's go for a test drive and then let's look at the numbers, right? So how do you make the distinction between just selling somebody a car and actually building a relationship?
Well, the first thing you got to do is practice the God-given talent of 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah.
It's very, very important, like you mentioned earlier. Listen to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy a car anywhere in town. It's about who you talk to in the business, how you talk to people in the business, and finding out what's most important to them.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to be using the car for? So it's not really a sales environment there. It's more of a fact-gathering mission and helping the customer along, because buying a car is a big thing.
Sure.
And you're going to be in it every day, especially in this traffic.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure it's the right car for them, it fits their needs, and work with the client, listen to them.
Gotcha.
So when I think of car dealerships, I think high pressure, and so tell me how that relates to what you guys are doing, or what are your thoughts on that's kind of just a gut perception I have, and maybe I'm wrong, but how do you avoid that?
Well, it's very stereotypical. People always remember the bad experiences they had in the past rather than the good ones, right?
Yeah.
But at Michael's Toyota, what we practice doing is we try to practice giving you all the information you need to make a well-informed decision. We understand as employees of the store, when you come in, you're not necessarily there to buy a car today, and you got to remember that. And you just give them all the information that they need so they can make a well-informed decision. And at the end of the day, if they want to buy the car, they'll buy the car. And if not, and that's the one saving grace with that dealership and how they operate. It's not got to sell you now.
Right.
Let's give you information. You make the decision. It's about you.
Listening to Dan, it sounds like you do a lot of repeat business. Is that true of how you guys operate?
Tons of repeat business, a lot of referral business.
That says a lot right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then, as I look at, okay, some people like me are Toyota people, right? It's just like, we know it's reliable, right? So let's speak to somebody that's like, no, I'm a Honda guy, I'm a Ford guy. Why should they choose a Toyota over any of the others?
Well, Toyota, it's the most reliable car. We kind of know it. It stems back to your roots. But the good thing is, we're never going to tell you have to just buy a Toyota. Here at Michael's, we have over 1,000 cars. We have a huge fleet of used, off-brand cars. When you come visit our dealership, of course, we're going to show you the latest and greatest with technology, like the new RAV, the Corollas, the new Priuses, things like that. And if you're still thinking BMW, Honda, Chevy, we have them all.
Yeah. So you're telling me it's more about the process of Michael's Toyota of Bellevue than just the car.
Exactly.
100%. It's more about the customer. It's about the process, how you treat people, how you interact with people. It's not about the money. It's really not about the car at the end of the day. We're just blessed that we sell Toyotas. It's a good product.
Right.
So what's everyone talking about?
The Toyota RAV.
Okay, and why?
It's all new body design, more space, hybrid model. Toyota's really done a great job with their new cars. 2 years, 25,000 miles of free maintenance, and then Michael's adds the third year free, and stuff like that. But the RAV4 right now is just really taken off. In fact, the Toyota Camry's been the #1 seller for 16 straight years.
Wow.
Yeah, and for the first time ever, the RAV4 is actually tracking to outsell it.
Really?
It's gonna be the flagship car for Toyota now, I think.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. I have my opinions.
Well, let's hear it. That's what this is.
No, I think I don't want to take anything away from it because I'm not the expert, but definitely I like kind of a bigger car. The RAV4, it's a mini Highlander. It's definitely, which makes it more economical, right? It makes it there. So, but here, I'll just point out what I think is really cool is the heads-up display. That's coming out on the new cars.
Yes, that's great.
Wow.
It's pretty, like you're driving along and there's this ghost of the speed. I think, is that the only thing that's on it, the speed or something like that?
Well, you can catch it in your peripheral vision when you're driving down the road. You don't even have to look.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's back. It's like Top Gun, how they're flying around and they got the little
with the
display.
jets. Yeah,
It's very
yeah,
cool.
that's cool.
I was wondering how long it would take to get that. So the RAV4 is a top seller. Camry always top seller, and then the 4Runner, right? We were talking about
The
that.
4Runner. Love the 4Runner.
Did I hear about an all-wheel drive Prius?
Yeah, there's
That's
an all-wheel
right.
drive Prius. It's already on the ground now, and of
Really?
course, us anxious car dealers. The second they
Yeah.
came out with a hybrid Prius, 2 days later, we were wanting all-wheel drive. Well, it took a few years, but we got it now,
Wow.
Yeah, which is important here in this area.
Yeah, Northwest
all-wheel.
definitely.
big
Yep.
time.
So how about the warranty? You mentioned you got the maintenance, 2 years maintenance. What's the warranty typically?
Yeah, well, Toyota gives you a 3-year, 36,000-mile comprehensive warranty on the vehicle, and then along with a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. And then, of course, if it's a hybrid product, Toyota backs its hybrid batteries 8 years, 100,000-mile
Really?
warranties.
Wow.
And then Toyota's giving back to the customer because the first 2 years, 25,000 miles of the maintenance is free.
Mhm.
And then Michael's wants to put its signature touch on it, so we take care of the third year for our guest, and then take care of the touch-up paint, first rock chip, first door ding, whole bunch of nice stuff.
That is nice.
So when you look at caring for a car over time, perhaps there's a specific success story that you have, of a client that's come back, that's been happy. Do you have any crazy stories where people have been back like over 10, 20 years? You've been there for how long?
I came in 1998, 21 years.
So 21 years. So tell me about your most loyal customer.
Most loyal customer? I'd have to say probably a gentleman by the name of Mr. Pickles.
Pickles.
Pickles?
Mr. Pickles.
Yeah. Mr.
You're like
You're
laughing
both
over
I
it?
was waiting for
He
it.
knows it. He's okay with me talking on the radio about him.
Okay, good.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Actually met him years ago, sold him a Sequoia, him and his family, big family.
Uh-huh.
Loves Sequoias. Talked to him just the other day. And now he's back to the store buying brand new Highlanders and for the family. And everybody's getting Toyotas now. All the kids are old enough to drive. And it's a pretty neat deal to be somewhere so long and meet a family and sell their kids cars later and
Absolutely.
as they come of age. But that's a great story. And there's just really too many stories to tell you. We don't have enough airtime to do it. The repeat business there is crazy. And I can't tell you.
And so mine comes from my grandfather, who he's a car guy. So he basically grew up in Riverside, California. He's restored and remodeled thousands of antique cars. And I moved up. My mom moved up to Portland area shortly after. Before we were born. So we didn't hang around that. But every time I go down and visit my grandpa, he's always got cars. You know, he's always working on cars. So when I said to him when I was younger, I was like, "Hey, Grandpa, what kind of car should I get?" He was like, "Get a Toyota." He bought the first year the Lexus came out. The what is the ES or something like that?
Yes,
so
300.
I know it's owned owned by Toyota. So that was for him. He's like, just don't mess around. And every time I'll call him and say, "Hey, Grandpa, I'm thinking about." He'll be like, Toyota's a good one. So it's in his blood, and I trust my grandpa. He knows cars, right?
Yeah,
so
I bet you he does.
he absolutely does.
Yeah.
He's got tons of good stories.
So I've heard that the service department is where the real money is made of the dealership. So what do you do to keep that going, to draw people in? What's special about your service department?
Oh, gosh. They just have so many different specials. They always got them online. We're always sending out mailers to our guests. But I think, it goes right back to family. Everybody can go get their oil changed anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you just pull up to the giant double doors. You pull into the doors. The service greeter runs out and meets you. You already have an appointment. You walk inside, have some great cookies, coffee, hang out in the showroom floor, look at the latest models, and then they'll have their car out and ready in a jiffy. They also provide loaner cars, so you always got a car to drive. If there's going to be some significant downtime, they'll always give you a car to drive. So it's just awesome. We're always giving back to the customer in form of a discount or buy 3 tires, get 1 free, just all kinds of stuff all the time. If you're not watching your email, you might
What if you
miss
don't
out.
want the 4th tire? You just say no.
Well, you could run with a spare and do a donut thing, and that'll
that's
keep
funny.
you doing the speed limit with a heads up.
Well, one of the things I believe, and I've told service providers that I've referred out to my clients, whether it be contractors, window folks, is if somebody doesn't believe they got a good value for what they paid, then you're doing something wrong, right?
100%.
Right.
And that's kind of why I asked you guys to come here, is because I know I've worked with you before. And I have a firm belief in making recommendations to the community about the people that not only that I choose to send myself to, but more importantly, who I send to my clients. And I would highly, highly endorse Roman and Murph. If you're in the market, you want a good, great, reliable car, there's some pretty cool incentives going on in July. Anything specifically you want to mention, Roman? I think you were giving me a car for free.
Pretty much.
For every,
$3.99.
it wasn't something like no.
No, I mean, the incentives are always changing. We got some 0%, we got some 0.9, so financing is a really good option right now. There's some rebates floating around. Just depends what model you're interested in. Definitely come see us. If you guys are thinking or if you have questions, give me a call. And then if I'm not there for some reason, always reach out to my boss, Johathan Murphy. He'll take care of you as well.
Okay, how do we get a hold of you?
So you can call me at 425-588-8804.
Say that again.
425-588-8804.
Cool.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. I appreciate you taking the time to come out here and chat with us about cars. Let's see.
After the break, we'll be talking to Aaron Wood, who's here with us, who's a big shot with us at Keller Williams. Can't wait to have a conversation. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Are you or someone you know considering relocating and downsizing in the process? Is the prospect of sorting through a lifetime's worth of belongings just too overwhelming to contemplate? Michelle Green with Caring Transitions has helped families just like yours get through the process with as little stress as possible. Caring Transitions has been helping people downsize and relocate all over the country for almost 10 years. Call Michelle Green with Caring Transitions of Issaquah and Bellevue to start learning more about the help that's available to you for downsizing and relocating at 425-505-0968. There's no cost or obligation to start getting more information on how to make your move easy on you. Just call them again at 425-505-0968. They look forward to speaking with you.
Hi guys, I'm Tony Starr with Tony Starr Fitness, specializing in meal plans and body composition. What are your fitness goals for the next 6 months, and do you have a plan? The time will pass with whatever you're doing, so get in contact with me now and see how you can set up a free consultation. You can reach me at tonystarfitness.com.
Alternative Talk 1150 online at 1150kknw.com.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan.
Our next guest is Aaron Wood from Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. Aaron Wood is the team leader, market center investor, and trainer at Keller Williams Realty. Aaron has experience in 3 different states with running real estate businesses. His goal is to make real estate agents millionaire business owners with amazing coaching and training to help them with every aspect of their lives. Welcome.
Hey, glad to be here.
Hey, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, been up here in Washington now for, I think it's been, 4 or 5 months now?
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
I guess. Or that. Or this.
So how you liking our summer?
Yeah.
It's great. Everybody told me the weather was beautiful here. I just love it. Especially
in the rain, yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Grew up Southern California, and before moving here, spent 5 years in Las Vegas working on real estate there in the Vegas area. So it was a lot cooler there. So, like it here, get a little warmer.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it will get a little warmer. I guess that I heard your, Eric, I heard your weather forecast is supposed to get nicer out there.
Better over the weekend.
Yeah. The good news is I don't have to water my lawn for at least 3 weeks.
Right.
Now, my wife probably will disagree with that. So this is a show about homes. So I want you to go back to, you grew up in Redlands, California? That's
Yes,
where you
I
grew
did.
up? So tell us about the house you grew up in and some fond memories you had.
House I grew up in was on Coronado Drive, and I'll never forget it. We were at the end of a cul-de-sac. We had the only pool in the neighborhood.
Nice.
So we were the house that everybody hung out at. But my dad would never heat the pool, so it was always ice cold. So that was, it's like swimming in the
First
Lake
world
Washington
problem.
here. Yeah.
First world problem.
First world problem. But I was the youngest of 4 kids with my mom and dad, so we had a blast there. We were the house that, like I said, everybody hung out with. We were where the parties were. Everybody knew our house in the neighborhood.
Awesome.
So what is Keller Williams and what makes us different?
Well, Keller Williams, a lot of people don't realize, is the largest real estate company in the world, actually, by agent count. We're the largest in the United States, number 1 in agent count, number 1 in units sold, and number 1 in volume. And running joke at Keller Williams is we're a coaching and technology company that just happens to be in the real estate business also.
To sell houses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now you weren't always with Keller Williams. You actually started out in title and escrow. And for the listeners out there, we've talked a couple of times in the last couple of weeks about what is title and escrow and all that stuff. But as a title and escrow officer, you're interacting with not just real estate agents with Keller Williams, but with a bunch of different ones.
Everyone.
So what drew you to the Keller Williams model down in Redlands, right?
Yep. Actually, when I first got into real estate from title, I went to work for Cole Banker.
Okay. Oh, you did not pick.
Yes.
Well, okay.
Did not pick them first. And there's a story behind that. I actually knew, being born and raised in the city where this office was, I knew the owner of the office at the time. and so it just wasn't a match there.
Okay.
Went to work for Coldwell Banker, though. He eventually wasn't in that office anymore, and that's when I came to Keller Williams. A friend of mine actually came to Keller Williams, and it just sounded great and fun and exciting. And one day I just packed up a box and walked over into the Keller Williams office. That's how I ended up there.
And like you mentioned, Keller Williams is known as a education and technology company, meaning a lot of agents and brokers out there have, it's like if you're getting in the business, go to Keller Williams because they have education. But what is so different about Keller Williams education?
Well, I think the big part is every office has training, right? Here's how you use the MLS. Here's how you write a contract. Woohoo, go have fun. There's the phone book, right? That's my impression of
What's
most.
a phone book?
Dating myself now.
Just joking.
Keller Williams, I think, takes us a step further, right? I can tell you how to write a contract in 5 minutes over the phone, okay? But what good is a contract if you don't have any clients to write a contract for?
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you get those clients? How do you communicate with those clients? How do you keep those clients over your entire lifetime of doing business with them? Constantly getting referrals from them as your business grows. How do I manage that business? How do I operate in multiple states? I think that's where Keller Williams shines, is because we're not just there to teach you the basics. We're actually there to teach you how to run a business and run that business so that it's very profitable at a high level.
I'm trying to remember the line, a business worth having for a life worth living.
Yep.
And I like that.
Business is worth having, lives worth living, and experiences worth giving. There's a whole slew of them there that they have there for them.
Yeah, and I will say this. So Brian and I, I started my business under Brian's tutelage, and he taught me how to write a contract over the phone. I don't know if you remember that.
Well, I've done it more than once.
Yeah, I'm sure. I was driving in my car, and I was like, hey, Brian, I need to write an offer. He's like, great, you need a 22, 22A, 22T, 22D, 22. I'm like, writing this down.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's
But,
funny.
of course, there is that difference, that level of, and for me, it was different coming to Keller Williams when I did, because, and this is an important part of the education, is if you're a brand new agent, tremendous, it's like drinking from a fire hose coming to Keller Williams.
Right.
If you're an experienced agent, it's like drinking from a fire hose too. Brian has 38 years worth of experience. Joined Keller Williams last fall, right?
Right.
And went out to our annual convention in, where were we?
This last year was at Anaheim.
No,
it was
New Orleans.
Oh,
New
that's right.
Orleans.
I wasn't there. I was.
Yeah,
that's
New
right.
Orleans.
Yeah, in New Orleans, and you just get all of this. You get this level of education that's not just where you are, but the next level up.
Something that's really unique in Keller Williams is most brokerages, the agents really feel like they're all in competition with one another. Keller Williams is just an open book with everybody helps everybody else. It's just an amazing corporate spirit. I mean, I just don't know how to explain it other than the fact that everybody's open and willing to help the person next to them.
Well, I just was speaking with an agent about coming to Keller Williams and from another company, and his mindset, he didn't think agents could do more than $100 million a year worth of sales and business. And I think it's fantastic at Keller Williams. I can get on the phone. How many agents do you want me to call that are doing that, twice that, 3 times that? And to get him on the phone with people like that and make him understand that it is a possibility and reality and there is a path to get there.
And without compromising the level of service to our clients.
Absolutely
That's
not.
those systems that have been developed and the willingness to share that is just amazing to me.
Yeah, and I agree with the willingness to share. Having 180,000 agents all across America. The idea for this radio show percolated from a local individual, but when I was in Boca Raton for a mastermind group, I talked to an agent, and in Birmingham, Alabama, she has a radio show. So I've now got that contact who can give me all her best ideas. And she's not concerned about me taking business away from her Birmingham, Alabama business. So it's that awesome kind of collaboration.
Exactly.
How many times have I walked around the office because I've been asked the question, and I'll go find agents in the office, hey, you've done this before. Can you help us out with this? And everybody's willing to share. I don't think I've ever been told no by anybody.
No.
And that's a huge benefit to our clients to have that collaboration.
Until now.
Until now. Funny.
No more Aaron.
How is Keller Williams competing in technology?
Well, I think technology is becoming the new frontier of real estate. I remember back when we had to get books and go around to the other offices and get books from the other offices and know what was on the market.
Right.
And so the MLS came out and that changed the industry. And then the internet came out and having websites changed the industry. Now, I think there's a fight going on for the technology space. And either the technology is going to control the agent or the agent is going to control the technology. And what Gary Keller has done in his wisdom with Keller Williams has decided the technology needs to work for the agent. And so he has bet on all the technology, putting it in one place. The agent has control over all the information. The agent has control over the data, how it operates, how it looks, how it communicates with their clients. And that's what he's put out there for all the Keller Williams agents that are out there.
And what it comes down to is that fiduciary, like we talked about earlier, is representing the client. Now we're able to represent a client with more information and take all that information and help interpret what that means for the consumer.
And deliver it. Yep.
So, all right. So we've talked about the education. We've talked about some of the technology. We could geek out on that forever.
For days.
Now,
Yeah, Dan, you could.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, specifically, Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Yes.
Why should any agent from any place consider Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue the place that they can grow?
The first thing that I always tell an agent that comes into my office or somebody looking to be an agent that comes into my office is absolutely number one, our training that we have to support the new agents coming into the business and to get them into production very quickly. And the first step with that is I walk them through the office and I show them our training room and I tell them, go find me another real estate company in town that's got a training room the size of ours in the area. Nobody does. Or if they have a training room, they got one training room that they're sharing with 3 or 4 other companies or 3 or 4 other franchises. I think that's a testament in itself that we're willing to spend that kind of money and floor space in a building in Bellevue to have a training room that size. So that's the number one thing I go after agents on is we put our money where our mouth is in the training and education of our agents. So that's the first important thing that I try to go over with them. And then from there, it's building the support system of the agents and the staff that they have there. I think the fact that Keller Williams office is one of the oldest ones in the Keller Williams system, or it's 22 years old now, if I remember correctly, with Carla Cross, you have infinite amount of knowledge and wisdom there that I don't think you see at other companies. And even within Keller Williams, love all the Keller Williams offices out there. They're all great and wonderful, but our office in Bellevue, you'd be hard-pressed to find one that has that kind of knowledge base within Keller Williams. And then layer on top of that, I've been with Keller Williams for 10 years. The people that I know, the people that Carla knows, the people that Chris knows, we have the ability to pull from a great pool of resources to help our agents out. An agent needs help or needs to make a phone call or needs help somewhere, we can make it happen.
Awesome. So let's talk about stakeholders versus shareholders, right?
Yes.
So in here you have a question about profit share, which is a Keller Williams that's unique to Keller Williams, and it comes down to being a stakeholder in success versus just being a shareholder. So how does Keller Williams do that? How does Keller Williams Bellevue do that?
Well, profit share is a sharing of the profit that the owner makes off the office, right? So everybody closes the deal. The office makes a split of the commission, if you will. And that split that the office takes, not what the agent takes, only what the office takes. After they pay their bills, there's the profit left over. And good for the owners, they get to keep the first $1,500, right? They sign all the leases. It's their rear end on the line for everything. They get to keep the first $1,500.
$1,500?
$1,500. Making big money now. After that, the rest is split 50-50 with the agents that helped grow that market center. So, and we have to share our budget. So any agent in that office can see how much money I make. They can see how much money the electric bill was. They know everything. The profit that's left over, it's based off of, so let's say, Dan, you bring in agent Joe, right? And Joe closes a deal. We're thankful for you bringing in Joe, so you get a percentage of our profit because you brought Joe into the market center. And that dollar amount is based off how much of that profit Joe brought into the market center. So if Joe does a lot of business, hey, you're going to get a bigger profit share check. Joe doesn't do a lot of business, you're going to get a smaller profit share check. And Joe can be in any Keller Williams office anywhere in the world. So you're getting a share of the profits in Keller Williams, and you didn't invest any dollar into Keller Williams. Your name's not on any lease. You don't have to worry about any lawsuit. You don't have to worry about the insurance policies or anything. You're just making money off the profit.
So what that does is that creates an environment with collaborative agents in our office to help each other be successful, to make more money. Because if I say, hey, Brian, come on in here, and Brian's a new agent. I know you're not, but you're a new agent. You founder, and you don't ever, achieve success. Well, there's no profit share to be made. But if I do, I answer questions. I introduce them to people. I say, hey, why don't you sit down with Aaron? Why don't you meet somebody that can help you find success? Then, well, the company profits, and there's some incentive to me.
And I think the big thing here is it's such a benefit to our clients to have that depth of resources.
Yes.
Because a practical reason for collaboration is the more profitable the company, the more money the brokers make.
Well, that's exactly it.
But client interest always coming first. We have a depth of resources that is unmatched in the industry.
A depth of resources with a vested interest on making sure every agent in that office succeeds.
Yeah.
Right. So what does Keller Williams do to give back?
Well, a big way we give back is through our KW Cares and Red Day day that we have every year.
Yep.
So Red Day is an event once a year in May. It's usually right around the 11th, give or take a day or two. And that is every Keller Williams office in the entire country, actually around the world now, shuts down for a day, and all the agents and staff donate their time to a charitable cause. So this last year, well, just in May, we went to the storehouse over here, and I can't think of the name. Thrift store.
Yeah. Was it LifeSpring or
yeah,
Jubilee Reach?
Jubilee Reach. So we did Jubilee Reach this last year. In past years, we've done houses for veterans. You probably name it, we've done it. And the entire company shuts down. We donate our time and our energy to help out whatever charitable organization out there. So that's one piece that we do for the community. And then for our own agents, we have our KW Cares organization, which is a charity that all agents donate to every time they close a deal. And 100% of that money goes back to benefit the agents out there and whatever their needs are. If there's a death in the family, if their house burns down. Even in my own case, my son, his appendix ruptured. He was in the hospital for a month. It was a very bad situation. And my insurance company didn't pick up $35,000 of the bill. So I had a $35,000 bill with the insurance company. And I got a phone call from Keller Williams saying, first, how's your son? Is everything okay? Yep, everything's fine. Great. Just want to let you know we've already contacted the billing department at the hospital. The bill's been taken care of for you.
Wow.
So,
that's amazing.
So that's an interesting thing, because when you're in real estate and you're self-employed, having a safety net that doesn't exist, where does that come from? And I got to say, what was it, 2-3 years ago? The hurricane down in Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So we were flying down in August for a real estate convention in Austin. What was the name of the hurricane?
Was it Harvey or what?
Yeah.
It hit Houston and all that up
Yeah,
there. And I
caused
think
all that flooding. And they took that convention and pivoted, and we all were bussed down to Austin. And I had the experience of as agents working together, we demucked a house, and it was
Gary Keller himself was there scooping out mud out of a Coldwell Banker agent's house.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things that those little things make a difference in culture, right? Whether it be profit share, education, technology, those things kind of make a difference. And we wanted to have Aaron on here to kind of talk about, if you're an agent in the area, if you're thinking about getting in real estate in the area, how can they get a hold of you, Aaron?
Best way to get a hold of me is to call me at the office. The phone number there is 425-454-0911.
All right, 425-454-0911.
0911.
All right.
There we go. Aaron, thank you so much for coming in today.
My pleasure.
You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan at 1150 KKNW. After the break, we have some more Real Talk and, of course, have some great final thoughts. We'll be right back.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact: homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time home buyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Have you ever experienced being overwhelmed and uninspired when you walk into your closet filled with clothes, shoes, and accessories? Although you are surrounded by so much stuff, you still feel you have nothing to wear and can't create a fabulous outfit? All this closet clutter can lead to mind clutter. This is not a great way to start your day. Susie Cohen with Style with Susie can help you feel inspired again with a closet edit. The two of us will work together to create a curated wardrobe that will work for your lifestyle. We will go through piece by piece and decide what works, what can be reinvented, and what we need to get rid of. I will provide that second eye and give you the tools to shop smarter and find outfits that you never knew you had. My commitment is that you feel great so you can go out into the world and be your best self. Your closet is your playground, so let's have some fun.
Wondering what's on next on Alternative Talk 1150? Check out 1150kknw.com.
Welcome back to Real Talk on 1150 KKNW, and we've got a short bit of time here to answer a few questions that you may have. You're still welcome to call at 425-373-5527. Well, Brian, pretty good show so far, yeah?
You bet. That's a good one.
I wanted to share a little bit about my experience. I went out to Chicago as a little 4th of July celebration. By the way, how was your 4th?
That was great.
Did you go check out the Sammamish fireworks?
We did. We live within walking distance, and we just love the fact we can walk down there. The whole community shows up, and it's just a fabulous show.
I heard that it was like 30 minutes long this year.
I don't know if it's quite that long, but it's always, partially the venue, you've got this, the shape of the hills there.
Yeah.
The acoustics are just fabulous.
Yeah.
It's loud. If you don't like loud, it's the wrong show for you.
Yeah,
But
so my friends out in Chicago, I flew out there, and we went to watch their fireworks show. And I got to say, I didn't want to tell them this, but I felt like the fireworks show in Sammamish has been better than what I saw out there. But I think they do it every other night. They do it like on Wednesdays and Saturday nights, so
Really
maybe they just didn't
interesting.
go out for it. But needless to say, the city itself, beautiful. If you ever get an opportunity to go, I felt like this time of year was okay. I hear it gets really hot.
And I heard a rumor that you actually like the humidity.
I do like the humidity. I don't know. I mean, even today, I kind of walking outside, I'm like, this is kind of nice. I mean, obviously, I've got a shirt on, and so I don't want to sweat through it or anything. But something about being in shorts and flip-flops and a T-shirt with some high humidity reminds me of the Caribbean. But great food, great, very walkable city. And, you know, as I'm thinking about our community here, I know there has been a lot of talk about the homelessness issue. Being in real estate, it's constantly on my purview, and it comes across as to, you know, what do we do? What do we do? I've also heard that Jenny Durkin has been, the Seattle Times wrote that she's been kind of working to clean up some of the encampments. And I really want to urge people, Eric Johnson did an expose called Seattle is Dying, that I want to just urge everybody to take a look at it soberly, understand that while there is some affordability issues with regards to housing, this, in my opinion, it's not just a housing issue. It's actually an addiction issue, and one that we've got to be brave as a community to face because of the fact that there are real people who are hurting as a result of the addictions. Yeah. And it's not the same as it's always been. It's very different to anything I've ever saw. And I remember telling my kids as we're going down to Seattle, and they kind of said, "Hey, Dad, give them a break. You know, these folks are." And I appreciate my kids being wise enough to share that with me, but also too to understand that this is a little different than just regular homelessness. We need to fight both. Right. But that's kind of my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So with that in mind too, and being in the community, I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. What kind of final thoughts do you have, Brian?
You know, I'm going to go back just a little bit here. Something that occurred to me while we were talking about the benefits of hiring a pro. I'd say about half the time I have clients that are just really stressed out about the whole thing. Yeah. And I think one of the things with Dan and I, having done this so very many times, I feel privileged to be able to walk people through the process. I mean, we call it hand-holding, and that's not meant in a negative way. It's literally, well, not literally holding hands, but literally coming alongside, listening to the concerns, listening to the things that are creating stress, and then walking through. I mean, you and I have done this so many times, we really know what to expect next. And so taking that unknown away, there's one of the lines I use is, you know, none of us like surprises except our birthday or maybe Christmas. You know, so avoiding the surprise, talking about what do we really think is going to happen next.
And here's what we found is we find that when we maintain that posture of being an advocate alongside you, buying or selling a home, that you're going to tell others about us.
Right.
We're not concerned about getting that business. The business will show up because we do such an excellent job of being there beside you. So we always appreciate any introductions or any referrals. So, all right. So that's almost about time for it. But let me just let you all know that starting tonight, and it looks like the weather is clearing up, if you want to go see Ferris Bueller's Day Off, it's going to be at the Miramore Park. They've got some awesome food trucks, live music beforehand. Grab a lawn chair, grab maybe a plastic bag to put down underneath your blanket because it's kind of wet.
It's a little wet.
But
Bring your tarp.
Yeah, bring your tarp. Maybe, I don't know if they allow you to put a little umbrella up or something like that, but it's definitely warm enough to sit out and watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at the
weather's
Miramore Park.
improving. Yep.
Yeah,
and
Miramore
tickets are only $5.
$5. It's a cheap date.
Yep.
Cheap date.
And food trucks, right?
Food trucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They gotta
Good
go.
food, cheap date. Bring your own popcorn, all that. Bring your dog on a leash. All right. That's the end of the show. So I just want to thank all of our guests for being here today. We had a fantastic panel. Thank you very much, guys. And that's it for this week, our first live show. No Training Wheels.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. Goodbye.